Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. Well, it's Thursday. We've got another great revival night. We encourage everybody, bring your children, bring your young people tonight. We're going to be laying hands on families. It's going to be a great time tonight here at East Campus. Right now, let's go back to the book of Numbers, chapter 20. And I want you to notice, we often talk about where our faith brings us. I want to show you where a lack of faith brings you. Chapter 20, beginning with verse 1. In the first month, the whole Israelite community arrived in the desert of Zin and stayed at Kadesh. There Miriam died and was buried. Now there was no water for the community, and the people gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron. Notice, the people gathered in opposition. Somebody's rounding up them, gathering them up in opposition against Moses and Aaron. They quarreled with Moses and said, "If only we had died where our brothers fell dead before the Lord. Why did you bring the Lord's community?" Notice how spiritual we sound. "Why did you bring the Lord's community into this desert, that we and our livestock should die here? Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to this terrible place? It has no grain or figs, grapevines or pomegranates, and there's no water to drink." Now, isn't that an absolutely amazing statement? Why did you bring us to this terrible place? Now my question is, who brought them to this place? They accused Moses. "You brought us to a place where there's no water. You brought us to a place where there's no nice food." They still are eating the manna every day, but they wanted other things. They accused Moses. They gathered together in opposition against Moses and Aaron. But how did they get where they were? They were supposed to be in the land of milk and honey. They had been brought right up by God to the border of the land flowing with milk and honey. Why were they not in the promised land and instead in this desert? Is it Moses that led them there? No. They were there because they chose to believe the 10 men of unbelief. They chose to believe the 10 spies with the bad report. They chose to believe 10 men with a negative report rather than believe the God who said that he would be with them. They chose stubborn refusal to believe. Now sometimes you look at a group of people and they're very mad at their leaders, and they say, "Why did you bring us to this difficult situation, to this difficult environment?" When if they would be honest, they would realize they're in that situation because that's where their lack of faith brought them. That's where their rebellious lack of faith brought them. That's where their decisions to listen to the negative reports rather than choose to believe God brought them. Very easy for people to blame leadership rather than face their own lack of faith. Brothers and sisters, if you want to get out of the desert, if you want to get out of the hard times, quit blaming people around you. Face the real reasons you're in that situation. Ask God's forgiveness. Mercy will flow. The land of milk and honey is always there.